quarter of the citizens who we defend today were born after 9/11. And that includes thousands of our outstanding young service members. And many of the 13 brave men and women who just days ago gave their lives to save others in Afghanistan were babies back in 2001. And as Secretary of Defense and a veteran of the Afghan War, let me underscore again how much we owe to all those who fought and to all those who fell while serving our country in Afghanistan. As the years march on, we must ensure that all our fellow Americans know and understand what happened here on 9/11, and in Manhattan, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It is our responsibility to remember, and it is our duty to defend democracy. We cannot know what the next 20 years will bring. We cannot know what new dangers they will carry. We cannot foresee what Churchill once called the originality of malice. But we do know that America will always lead. And we do know the only compass that can guide us through the storms ahead. It is our core values and the principles enshrined in our Constitution. Liberty, rights, the rule of law, and a fierce commitment to a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is our job to defend the great experiment that is America, to protect this exceptional republic, body and soul, and to defend the American people in our democracy, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And ladies and gentlemen, we must be tireless guardians of our ideals as well as our security, because we cannot have one without the other. Let me thank again the families of the loved ones and survivors for all that you have given and for the inspiration that you provide. The hallways that we tread were the ones that so many of them walked. It will always be our duty to fulfill their missions and to live up to their goodness and to stand guard over this democracy. We still work here. We still remember here. And we still uphold our values here. With clear heads and fearless hearts. Thank you, and may God protect the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for God Bless America.
They're naming off the names that perished and died in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
I invite you again to join me in prayer. O holy God, as we come to a conclusion of this observance of this day,
9:59.
remind us to build up what has been
Moment of
torn
silence for
down,
collapse
to
of the South
repair
Tower
what
at
is broken,
9:59.
overcome hate with love, and be a true instrument of peace. Through this and through you, O God.
We're playing God Bless America.
Brian Williams back with you just to record keep on some of what we've witnessed. First of all, our thanks to our guests, Lazaro Dubrock and former Secretary, former White House Chief of Staff, Andy Card, for being kind enough to spend time on this day of all days with us. We just listened to General Milley and the former general, now Secretary of Defense, and while it is notable to hear both of those men, both heavily decorated veterans. They are heavily decorated veterans, both recipients of the Combat Action Badge because of the wars launched in the name of the attacks we mark today. We dipped in briefly to a moment of silence here in New York at 9:59. That marked the collapse of the South Tower of the World Trade Center and that staggering waste of humanity. We are coming up on 10:03 a.m., the next occasion we mark, no less tragic, the crash of Flight 93, Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's 10:03 when it happened.
In about 50 seconds from now. The Vice President has taken her place there, former President George W. Bush. They are reading the names in Shanksville, so let's listen in before they go silent.
Lauren Catuzzi Grancolas and our unborn child.
Wanda Anita Green.
10:03.
My dad, Donald.
Moment of silence
Freeman
to mark crash of Flight 93 at 10:03.
My sister, Linda Christine Grunland. my beloved brother and son, Richard Jerry Guadagno.
My brother-in-law, First Officer Leroy Homer, Jr.
We are joined back here at our perch above Ground Zero by former Secretary of Homeland Security Jay Johnson. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for being with us. I guess we would like to begin with the meaning of this day, obviously for you.
Yeah, when the South Tower collapsed, everybody was scrambling. A lot of people just say, people started breaking out crying. There was a helicopter, I don't know if it was newscaster, but I remember he was yelling like, holy crap, it just collapsed.
I was in the law firm in Midtown Manhattan that I'm with today. I had been general counsel of the Department of the Air Force during the last 2 years of the Clinton administration. I came back home, came back to my law firm, and on this day, and the weather was virtually identical.
Virtually identical.
I was sitting in my office. I heard someone say a small plane hit the World Trade Center, and I looked out my window. My office and the office next to it faced down 6th Avenue.
I was at work, but we had the TV on, and when I saw the South came down, I was like, oh man.
The one moment I'll never
forget. It just overwhelmed me. It just made me sad.
Watching the first tower collapse.
I remember when the North came down after half an hour, and I told my coworker, I was like, bro, I can't do this. It's just too much for me.
Skyline, and I kept wanting to believe.
Yeah, he didn't want to work either. So we just, what we decided to do? We decided to say, dude, let's go golfing. Let's go golfing.
In an instant, it was the moment in my life when
we just need something that escape.
My brain did not believe what my eyes were showing me, and frankly, it was that day changed my life. It changed the life of millions of Americans, and it was out of that day that I wanted to rededicate myself to national security.
And you eventually ran a department that, of course, did not exist by that name.
Correct.
On this date 20 years ago, was born 13 days after 9/11, and you've watched our security concerns, the issues we track and follow, and our threats morph somewhat unbelievably in the last 2 decades.
Brian, I used to tell my people at DHS, and I saw hundreds of them, Secret Service, TSA down here this morning. I used to tell my people at DHS,
Department of Homeland Security.
The next attack, not the last attack. And the threat picture continually evolves. You asked me today, what are our homeland security threats? Of course, terrorism, except of a different nature. Domestic-based violent extremism, right-wing violent extremism, small-scale attacks.
Antifa, Proud Boys.
The overarching threats to our homeland, in my judgment, are climate change, global warming, and the
It was extreme storms, extreme heat,
weather events on aging infrastructure.
Extreme cold.
There's aging infrastructure all around us here in Lower
Manhattan. The aging electrical grid.
Threats that is a slow
hackers taking over pipelines over that.
Barack Obama used to say, and it always seems to land second in the inbox. Global warming, cybersecurity, the continued evolving terrorist threat, and in my judgment, the polarization of our democracy. The polarization in our government itself is a security threat. I worry that if there were another 9/11 today, our country would not be able to mobilize behind one national purpose like we did 20 years ago. And the best proof of that is how we've reacted to COVID.
Yeah, that's another good case. I mean, look how long it's taken us to try to, recover from COVID.
Still taking their shoes off at airports because of one thread of intelligence about one foiled plot. People want to take a shot. Do you think they would do all those things we asked them to do? Throw away their $8 bottle of Fiji water and take off their shoes and submit to invasive pat downs?
It's against the law to drink and drive. In many states, it's required by law to wear a helmet when you're on a motorcycle.
It's against the law to smoke weed from the tree store and drive.
Yourself, but to protect all of those around you. We've lived with those type of requirements now for generations, yet when it